Hello, I'm Ricky Sayer, and this is the Ricky Report. Today I will be talking about some criticisms Harriton's Power program has been getting. Last Friday, December 11th, the Harriton Banner published Ava Sophia Brown's opinion piece titled Power Doesn't Empower. Since its posting, it has received over 1,700 views, getting attention from far beyond our Harriton community. In the op-ed, Ava talks about how she first learned that she was in the Power program over the summer without ever knowing what the program was. She wrote that starting off my freshman year, I was beyond excited to receive my schedule. Nervous, I hoped to get all the electives I had signed up for, and wondered what classes I might share with my friends. But when I opened the letter that would contain my well-anticipated schedule, I was confused. Listed as a replacement for one of my electives was a class I had never signed up for called Power.
And what I found out later after talking to my counselor is that it was given to me based on my race, and it was a class that I would have to take.
Did she tell you that you had to take it, or that it was greatly encouraged that you take it? What was the wording?
It was encouraged that I took it, and then there was a process of, oh, well, now I'm going to have to redo your schedule, naturally, and I would have to wait till later in the summer to get my schedule changed or getting back class dropped. I was able to get it fixed, so I got it changed immediately, but that was after a long correspondence with my counselor.
So before we go any farther, I want to explain what Power is. Power is a program at Harriton that gives African Americans and other minority students a place to interact together within a space where African American students can discuss, problem solve, and more comprehensively understand the complexities and dynamics of culture, society, and historical struggles to gain quality education, as well as recognizing, celebrating, emulating, and exemplifying the many positive attributes of African Americans. Here's what the Power's teacher, Mr. Banto, had to say about the program.
But it's essentially to promote community in an environment where students of color are already minority, and to have them within that group excel as best as they can while they're here. We're also talking about several issues as it relates to history and other academics from the African American perspective. So if we're discussing history and there are parts of their history class that's not being discussed fully in terms of whether it's African American history or African American contributions, rather than limiting that to just Black History Month, we can kind of have those discussions in this room at any time. In a school like this, where you have a very small population, those students at times might be kind of isolated. So whereas you might have one student in a class, if it's an AP or honors or even a CP class, might be the only kid of color in that class, that could be an interesting moment for a student in that class.
In what way?
Because if you're discussing issues on race and everyone turns to you as if you can speak for the entire Black population, that might cause you to, wait a minute, that might just be that student's opinion. It might not be everybody else's story. One of the things that we talk about in this program is the danger of a single story, because each and every student here has a story. Each and every student here is more than just standardized testing. Each and every student here is more than just stereotypes. So we kind of examine a lot of those things and see how we can get our students to maybe get past a moment like that where they might feel a little apprehensive to express themselves simply because they feel like they're put on the spot. In this room, when you're having that conversation, you're one of many, not one of a few. And that makes a huge difference in terms of being comfortable to talk about something.
Now, Ava actually agrees with all that.
Well, it's actually a very good program if you sign up for it. It teaches you about African American heritage, organizational skills, study skills. It's very helpful in that way. And I have really no problems with the program itself. It seems very helpful if you need that sort of help. It just wasn't the kind of thing that I was looking for in 9th grade. It's really good to put minority students together so they're able to have a relationship with each other, because it's very hard if you're a minority student in a primarily white school.
The problem for her was that it meant that she could not take an elective. She wrote in her op-ed that you can find at hhsbanner.com, I question the basis of power. While the benefits to providing an outlet for African American students seems fundamentally good, forcing them to forego an elective an engineering, perhaps a journalism course that might have given students a leg up in college admissions and life skills is not worth it for many students. Now, Mr. Banto said that they don't actually force anybody not to take an elective.
It is not used as a way to take away from an elective that a student might have or anything like that. It's not used to take away from any other academic classes that a student might have or prevent that student from taking those classes. You know, we don't force anybody to forego anything. So, I mean, in that case, we have students who are part of the program who don't have the power class, which is, I think, might be another myth. So everybody that's part of the program does not meet with me in a class because some students have a full schedule.
Ava was also critical of the program in other ways because she said that she had been put in the program because of her race. She wrote in her op-ed that I do not need to be taught about the many positive attributes of African Americans, as if the stereotype is that we have nothing but negatives. Straight-A students that happen to be black shouldn't have to waste their time in a class that teaches the skills necessary to reach their goals as they pursue their interests and talents, and study skills, organizational skills, time management skills. It's patronizing. And because of that, it seems like power categorizes black students as more susceptible to failing rather than elevating them as learners. But I want to return to Ava's biggest issue overall, which is that she says that this is an opt-out program instead of an opt-in program.
It's an opt-out program rather than an opt-in program, and that's the problem I have with it. I feel like an opt-out program based on a minority or on your ethnicity is essentially wrong. But I would hope that in the future they wouldn't just automatically sign you up. They look at your race, oh, you need to be in power. I think that's fundamentally wrong.
Now, I asked Mr. Banto why it is an opt-out program instead of an opt-out program instead of an opt-in program, and whether or not they alert students to give them a chance to opt out.
When they register in the district, they identify themselves one way or the other. So based on how they identify, we kind of select them based on that. And those students are then sent a letter informing them about the program. We've done several things to kind of get information out to the community. We have a parent advisory group that also helps us get information out to the community about what the program is. And then students have an opportunity after receiving this information to either say, yes, I would like to be part of the program, or no, I would like to opt out of the program.
But if they don't send the letter back, they're automatically in the program?
The default setting would be that they are, we're still trying to figure out the best way to get that information to people so that it is still an opt-in or opt-out either way. Because if you have the information and you choose to opt in, by not responding to say I want out, that's kind of a way of saying what I want in.
Now, Ava told me that she never actually saw that letter. Now, many people I've talked to get their immediate impression is they think that Ava is anti-power from the title, Power Doesn't Empower. Interesting thing is, as you have seen, that's not true, and the title wasn't even her original title.
The original title of it was Race at Harriton, the Pros and Cons of Power. It wasn't initially, I think it's Power Does Not Empower. That's very misleading. That wasn't what my article was about.
Now, this topic has many other elements that I don't have time to go into right now in our live show. They include how students don't get academic credits from Power, how Power was created, what Power tries to do to close the achievement gap, as well as how the community has reacted to her op-ed. And is Power effective at its goal? I will go into this and more on a future Ricky Report. I will, however, be putting up the interview I did with Mr. Banto up on YouTube very soon. One final thing. Mr. Banto wanted me to stress that any student, regardless of race, can stop by or sit in on a Power class to see what's going on, and they can participate. Mr. Banto said Ava spoke her truth, but that he doesn't want her story to be the only one out there about the program, as the program means something different to everyone. That'll be it for this edition of the Ricky Report. Thank you for watching. For all of us here at HHS TV, I am Ricky Report. Stay informed, Harriton, and don't forget to have a great rest of your day today and an even better day tomorrow.